Bonjour tout le monde. Ce soir, mon invité, Madame Kimberly Churchill. Madame Churchill a été dans, si on peut dire, la secte de Madame Romana DIDULO, celle qui a inventé, entre guillemets, le Kingdom of Canada. Donc, je vais lui poser les questions en français. Madame Churchill les a déjà avec elle en anglais, donc je vais lui poser en français et elle va répondre en anglais. Donc, on va commencer. How are you doing, Miss Churchill?
Great. Thank you. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good too. So let's begin. Question one. Comment avez-vous entendu parler de Romana Didulo?
A friend of mine that was an activist in the freedom movement had showed me that this woman was claiming to be the the new Queen of Canada, and so I just ended up going on her Telegram channel and listening to her content.
Question two. Qu'est-ce qui a fait en sorte que vous avez été interpellé par ses propos?
Well, all her content was pretty online with everything that was a part of the freedom movement rhetoric. That the government of Canada is masquerading as a real government, but it's actually a defunct, just group of people who have convinced us to, follow their system and, be enslaved to them. And the other thing that the vaccine was a bioweapon and encouraging people not to take it. So a lot of her rhetoric was, what we were claiming, um, and shouting from the rooftops, anyways. And at the time, nobody was really, it seemed like nobody was in a positive leadership role for Canada. Like nobody was standing up for 50% of the people that saw this as a heist, a heist to get us to do things and to behave in a way um, that they controlled through their fear propaganda, I
Okay.
guess.
At this time, you were an anti-vaccine and an anti-mask. Is that right?
Um, well, it was more of the fact that the more I went and researched what the media was saying, the more I saw that they were not reporting in real time um, facts. Like when they would say that the COVID testing centers were, backed up for miles with cars because people were getting tested. That was a lie. When they said the emergency hospital runs were overrun, that was a lie. We went to the hospitals; they were empty. And
Okay.
then when they said that the nursing homes, especially in Toronto and the GTA, were overrun by COVID, and people weren't being taken care of. The truth of the matter was that Ford had sent everyone home. The nurses were at home with their kids. Nobody could babysit their kids, so the nursing homes were understaffed, and it had nothing to do with COVID. So it's not about being an anti-masker or an anti-vaxxer. It's that the reality that they were broadcasting over the airways
Okay.
did not line up in real-time reality.
Question three. Comment avez-vous entendu Romana Didulo? De quelle façon vous l'avez rencontrée? Dans quelles circonstances?
I joined her channel about a month after she came out. So that would have been about June 2021. And I had been, uh, entertained with her content. And then when the trucker convoy was being launched, I had no interest in being a part of that because I thought it was politically motivated. I didn't think it was an organic um, situation that was going to occur in Ottawa. But when she said that she was going to go to Ottawa and announce herself and proclaim herself to be the Queen of Canada, then that's when I went. And I was in Ontario, north of Toronto. And so I drove to Ottawa to meet her there. And I met her there because after she had
New
introduced
Brunswick
herself,
to Ottawa?
huh?
You
Yeah,
leave?
I met her in
Oh,
Ottawa.
okay.
Yeah. And she invited anyone to go to her RV after and have coffee with her to get to know her. And I was with a friend of mine who wanted to go into her RV and actually introduce herself to her. And so I went only because my friend wanted to. And
Ah,
I
okay.
met her there. And she was nice and warm and you know, we had good coffee and so she seemed like a different personality though than who I uh like now she seems more manly, I guess, but at the time I found her to be more feminine actually. So I don't
Okay.
know what that, you know.
Question 4. Comment était-elle avec vous, le type de relation que vous aviez?
So the first time I met with her, she was very warm and cordial and like unassuming, like really humble actually. And so then as I guess the kind of relationship I had with her was very superficial, and just see her at meet and greets for, half an hour or so, where she would just take the mic, do her spiel, and, there was no real personal interaction, right? It was very, it's just like the same type of relationship you'd have with the prime minister. So,
OK. Question 5. Après le convoi, vous avez décidé de faire quoi avec Romana? Vous l'avez suivi dans son périple au Canada?
yeah, actually, I was very curious about them at this point. And when I was in Ottawa and had gone to the events, they were looking for people to convoy with them. However, um, it was not very organized. They said that they would get in touch with me. But I know at the time there was a lot of dynamic problems. Like if I was there and somebody had walked off the bus yelling and screaming, and she was accusing him of something, and like it was a total domestic right there on the streets of Ottawa. So I thought, two people left right in front of my eyes, and I thought that they would take me on right away,
Mhm.
but they didn't. So I just went home and continued to just follow her on her channel, and that's it.
OK. Question 6. Est-ce que c'est vrai que vous avez donné votre VR à Romana en acceptant de ne pas prendre votre douche à chaque jour, travailler 24 heures sur 24, 7 jours sur 7, de ne pas faire votre lessive pendant plusieurs semaines?
Well, because I already travel in RV, I live in RV. It's my lifestyle, so I understood the lifestyle. Like you can go um you could be driving an RV and you have to boondock somewhere where there is no showers, no bathrooms. It's pretty rugged, or maybe you don't have enough water to actually take a shower. So it was more about that. And there's ways to, stay clean, um, in those conditions. And then, yeah, to work 24/7 with security and being on the road, there's a lot of work that has to be done when you're on the road. There's a lot of maintenance, there's upkeep. You have to make sure you have everything you need in case there's a breakdown. Um, and then, well, with not washing my clothes, I mean, I could go a couple of weeks without going to a laundromat. That was just fine. So it's more of a like, from my perspective, when she was asking me those questions, it was more about, do you realize the lifestyle you're getting involved in?
Okay.
Right.
So, in fact, you gave her for free your VR.
Oh, no, I didn't. I said that I would that I would use it as long as I'm with her, as long as I'm traveling in the convoy, that anybody's welcome to, share the space with me. But, once I was going to leave, I was going to take my stuff with me.
Okay. Question 7. Est-ce que vous lui avez donné de l'argent ou d'autres biens matériels?
Yes, when they were doing a live stream, they were in Nova Scotia, and it was very cold. And I know how cold it is to live in an RV in the wintertime, because I do a lot to insulate myself, to keep myself warm, to keep my food and my water from freezing, and all this kinds of stuff. There's a lot of preparation that goes into that. And Darlene and Mary were doing a live stream. They were doing a fundraiser so that they could get out of their trailer and into apartment, like a proper house. And Darlene even called me or emailed me during that event that it was like a telethon to raise money. And so I donated to that cause. And then after when Romana was shutting down that fundraiser, she said that, okay, well, I'm going to take a rain check and I'm not going to use, so how
A
I
rain check?
interpreted that, well, a rain check, yeah. Like
Oh,
she wasn't going to use the money. She just spent like 10 hours raising. She was not going to use the money to put them into lodgings. And Darlene and I even asked me to look for a place online, like for a house. And so I did. I found a perfect place for them where they could all have their own rooms, their own privacy. It was inexpensive. And they not only turned down that perfect spot, but they didn't use the money to get out of the trailers in the wintertime. So
question.
then
Sorry?
that was shiesty. That was shiesty.
Question 8. Vous avez été co-animatrice sur QR TV, sur Telegram. C'était quoi les sujets que vous deviez aborder? J'imagine que le but premier, c'était d'amasser de
Yeah,
l'argent.
so when that's why she brought me on to the team in March, because she wanted somebody to do the news with Darlene, and she knew I had a media background. So I had worked for the radio, my local radio station, so she knew I had media experience. So she only wanted to use me for those skills. And so when I was doing the news, I was saying to Darlene, like, people want to hear about, med beds and how to heal the body and, how do we detox, from our environment and stuff like that. Like, they don't want to hear about Putin and Trump and all this, 3D nonsense, like I wanted to talk about, more, I guess, different concepts than what's in the mainstream media. And I just saw them duplicating what's in the mainstream media. Right. So, yeah, so that's why I didn't last very long with them, because it didn't make sense to me why we're just regurgitating mainstream media when we kept saying that the mainstream media is the problem. So why regurgitating what they're spewing, right? So I was challenging the content of QR News, and so the more you challenge stuff or question stuff there, the quicker they want you out.
Is that true that you only read the good comments and you leave the bad comments when they talk about Romana?
Oh yeah, anything negative is absolutely deleted right away.
Of course.
Oh yeah. Oh
Question
yeah.
9. Avez-vous vous-même donné de l'argent à Romana et si oui, elle l'a utilisé pourquoi?
Yeah, so now she's not good with money because we went shopping and she spent money so wastefully, like $3,500 wastefully. So she has no concept of money, and I recognized that pretty quickly. So I donated money so that they could get out of the trailer in the wintertime. And they did not get out of the trailer in the wintertime. They stayed and they froze their asses off in a moisture filled environment. It was, it was not good living conditions at all. It wasn't good. So um, I donated the money to get them out of those conditions. And then when I went there, they were still in those conditions. Then I started to wonder why they were so inefficient and, nothing they did made sense,
Mhm.
you know.
Question 10. Est-ce qu'elle avait des propos violents envers vous ou toute autre personne de son entourage?
Uh, not violent. Okay, yeah. If you call yelling violent, verbally violent, then yes, because she's a screamer. If
Oh,
you screw up, she will yell at you, and shame you and tell you you're nothing but a useless piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
she's yeah, very dysfunctional. It's a good thing she's not a parent, very dysfunctional. She scapegoats everybody and she tries to make favorites, right? So if she's showing
Uh,
favoritism, then shaming somebody else, scapegoating somebody else.
but
It was
what kind of
it was
shaming she
horrible.
said?
Huh?
What kind of shaming?
Oh, like she would say to Joanna, "Why can't you be more like Mary?" Or like um, Mary's brother Alan, totally berating him all the time.
Question 11. Combien de temps vous êtes resté à ses côtés?
Only for about 10 days.
Ah, OK, OK.
Yeah, not long. Like I've run, big teams before. I've been in management and that kind of stuff. And, after a couple of days, I started to see how inefficient everything was running. Things were getting that were broke weren't getting fixed. Money was being misspent. Stuff that they had bought, thousands of dollars of stuff, were sitting in a shed that wasn't winterized. So all like maybe $5,000 worth of donations was just being spoiled and gonna have to go to the landfill. Like there was no efficiency here.
Okay, so you didn't have
So I
chance to
started challenging them.
you didn't
Hmm?
have the chance to use a Kingdom
No.
Canada money.
Hmm.
Many people lost their house, their cars. What do you think about? I don't know what the people thinking. Oh, Romana will save us, but with our Kingdom of Canada money.
I know, like, I think that so many people are traumatized
Mm.
by how the government pushed the whole fear campaign, with the COVID, that people have no trust for the system at all, no trust. And, desperate for somebody that seems to be a good leader that has Canadians, best interest at heart. Like I think people want that so badly that they're willing to override a lot of the things that don't make sense, especially by now. by now there's enough time that has lapsed that we know that Romana has affected no change. You know, we still have homelessness. We still have price increases on rent and fuel and food. And, you know, we still have chemtrails. Like nothing's changed. So, and there's people that know me personally that don't know Romana. And when I say, listen, I was there for 10 days, these people are just grifting. Like they got nothing going on there. They still believe her than me. And that is a kind of a psychology that I'm really delving deeply into. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy that by now that these people that have been supporting her all this time still don't get it. They still don't see it for what it is. It behooves me.
Question 12. Est-ce que vous pensez que The Kingdom of Canada, c'est comme une secte?
Yes, definitely. It is only a cult, nothing else.
And the people,
And actually more of a digital fantasy, you know, because like the cult itself, there's only about what 10, 12 people there that are kind of keeping the show alive. But most people that are supporting of her don't know her and haven't seen it with their own eyes. So I think it's more of a digital fantasy than also, you know, than a physical cult, really. So if there's
so
a difference.
you stay with her 10 days, so you didn't go to the school in Richmond. Is that right?
No, I never made it to Richmond. I was in Halifax for 10 days. I didn't even drive around with them or anything.
Okay.
I was just there for 10 days and then
So
yeah,
I
saw
think
everything.
she has already leave Richmond School. Is that right?
I don't know. I'm hearing there's somebody that's putting out like there's a podcaster that's saying that she's in Ontario now, but I think that she made a mistake. I think a couple of her supporters were in a mall in Ontario that were handing out loyalty money. So she was saying that Romana was there, but it was just a couple of her supporters that were handing out loyalty money. So, but Romana, I'm sure, is still in Richmond.
Question 13.
Where is she?
Where is she? Yeah. Question 13. En terminant
Oh,
sur une note plus humoristique, est-ce que vous pensez que Romana se prend vraiment pour un extraterrestre, un alien?
um, does she think she's an alien?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think she knows that everything she is saying um, is like a black mirror to people who, you know, believe that aliens exist, believe that there's Palladians, Arcturians, med beds, all this technology, multidimensional, like the whole, like she's really just stolen all that material and clumped it into her own Kingdom of Canada, you know, script, you know. So I don't think she believes any of it.
Okay. It's only for the show because
She
when
just
she
knows it's
answering
good.
questions, she always pointed in the sky and said, they are helping me. They are. But who they are?
This is also an Islamic
Oh,
symbol, right? So this is about this is what Islamic extremists do as well.
okay.
So I think that she could be just using that, um, but saying it's something else.
What will you say to somebody who wants to be invest in Kingdom of Canada with Romana DIDULO?
Before they invest, go there and work with them. Work with them for as long as you can.
And now they will understand who she is.
Yeah. So they have to see it with their own eyes.
Do you have something else to say about Romana DIDULO and the Kingdom of Canada that
Uh,
didn't talk?
okay. That, yeah, I think just keep exposing her as a content creator, a grifter, an actor. And she actually represents, I think, how every government gets started. Somebody just shows up and says, hey, I'm appointed the king, the queen of
Mhm.
Canada. Pay me your taxes and we'll get along just fine. Yeah.
So, th- yeah. So thanks a lot, Miss Kimberly Churchill, to grant me an interview about this fabulous woman, Romana DiDullo. Thanks again,
It
Kimberly.
was very fun. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks. Goodbye.
See ya.